In John chapter 8, we see the story where Jesus is teaching on the temple and an adulterous woman is brought to him. She has just been caught in adultery, red-handed. And so, according to the law of Moses in Leviticus 20, she should be stoned to death. Now, the religious leaders, the Pharisees, are trying to trap Jesus into saying something against Rome or against the temple or against Jewish law so they can arrest him and hopefully have him either jailed or killed. But Jesus, in a marvelous, really miraculous way of handling the situation, when they drag her up to him, she's been caught in adultery. She may have been half dressed, half clothed. And they bring her up into a public place just like this. And they say, here's a woman who's been caught in adultery. The law of Moses says we should stone her. But what do you say? And it's so interesting to me that Jesus pauses. It says he reaches down to draw in the dirt. And he starts to draw with his finger in the dirt. And it says Jesus slowly stood back up. It says, what does the law of Moses say? Pick up a stone and stone her. You who is without sin, cast the first stone. Now, all around in Jesus' day, which was about 33 AD, Herod had not finished building the temple yet, and so there was all kinds of construction stones and things around the Temple Mount. And so they could have easily picked up stones and stoned her to death righteously because she was caught in the act of adultery. However, to be an adulteress, you have to have an adulterer, and the man was not brought. And so what you see is that Jesus, in a fantastic way of dealing with the situation, still supports the law of Moses, which he must, being a righteous rabbi, but he also supports the compassion of God for the sin of this woman. And not only for the sin of her, but to confront the hypocrisy of the religious leaders. The one who had caught her in sin should have stoned her to death. But Jesus must have known something about that crowd, that standing among them must have been someone maybe who was an adulterer. And so it says that they left one by one, the oldest first, until Jesus was left standing with a woman by himself on the temple. Platform clean, woman broken, Jesus merciful. Jesus right here is showing his divinity, that he had intimate knowledge of her intimate sin. And he says to her, not only do I not condemn you, woman, but now go and leave your life of sin. It's the two-handed beauty of God, that one, he is righteous and he will not allow sin to go unjudged. But two, because God is love, he offers us forgiveness, offers us salvation. And when we accept that, we must now, in appreciation, go and leave our life of sin. And so today, when you think about the story of the adulterous woman, God's righteousness must be protected because God is righteous. But God's compassion and God's love will always be shown from Jesus, because he is God come in the flesh with knowledge of our sin, but with a hand of love to always reach out to us in compassion.